everybody, and welcome to ESO Weekly here on the ShoddyCast. I am Kyle, and with me, as always, my dear darling brother Josh.
Hello everyone, and welcome.
Yes, we are only 78 days out from the release of ESO.
Wow, less than 3 months, right? Is that right?
Jeez.
I was never good at math.
Yes. Let's see. This week we are going to be talking about some Forbes articles that came out. They were by Paul Tassi, and they weren't exactly positive.
Well, if there's anyone that knows about video games, it's businessmen. So.
Sure, right? And the biggest beta weekend yet has just passed, and it kind of brings along the question: is ESO ready for an open beta? And are they ready to, finally lift that embargo and let people freely discuss their experiences with the game thus far? So we're going to talk about that. But before we get into the news, let's mention the giveaway contest winners.
Oh man, get free gaming headsets here. They're like candy. Make it rain.
Yes, so last week we announced we were going to have a giveaway contest for some Plantronics RIG headsets.
Wait a second. Before we go any further with this, I'd just like to call every freaking viewer out right now because I'm kind of pissed, ladies and gentlemen. Go ahead, Kyle, ask me why I'm pissed.
Why are you pissed, Josh?
I'm pissed because at the end of each and every episode of ESO Weekly, we provide free content for everyone. We do it because we're passionate about games and we like talking about them. And we just ask everyone to pay us the courtesy of liking a video after they've seen it, just to, help us out, because I don't know, for those who aren't familiar, that's how YouTube works. How many likes you get on a video affects the search rankings and things like that. So when you guys watch ESO Weekly and like it, more people get to watch it, and we get our name out there and stuff, and it's nice. Now normally we get how many likes a video? Maybe 1,000 likes for an ESO Weekly.
I'll go with that.
Yeah, on average gets about 1,000 likes. Let's just say that last week's video, where you had to like in order to be considered for winning a free gaming headset, we got way more likes. Now, if we got as many likes on our last video, on this video and any future ESO Weekly, you'd be paying the ShoddyCast such a great service, such a great honor, and I just encourage everyone out there who normally doesn't like the videos, now you know the reason why. Maybe we can do that. That would be great.
Well, that's enough guilt tripping there. So, yes, our winners. Let me announce two that have not yet contacted us. Joshua Beringer.
I thought you were going to say my name for a second there. Everybody was about to get super pissed off. Yeah, no. We're just giving the headsets to ourselves.
Just check your YouTube messages and see if you got a message from us. So yeah, Joshua Beringer, something along those lines. Another one here, East Guardian Seriu. I don't know. I'm putting them on the screen because I can't pronounce this for shit. So yeah. But the other ones here, we have Josh, the Lord of the Rings guy.
Okay.
There's a lot of Joshes.
I would like everyone to know that I didn't pick these winners. It was Kyle.
It was random.
I'm not being namist here by choosing only people with my names. I guess Josh's are just lucky. Lucky sons of
popular name, apparently.
Bitches, yeah.
The other one here is Charles Wells. Congrats. And Orange Juice God. Okay.
Okay.
And
I am a god.
The sixth one here, his name is Sniggle Fritz. Very nice.
Sniggle Fritz. Congratulations.
So yes, congrats to those 6 winners. Again, to those who have not responded, check your damn mail and respond. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to give it to someone else or something like that.
Yeah, hopefully we'll do more of that giveaways. That was really cool. I wasn't expecting to receive that at all. But yeah. Fun times.
Yep. All right, so let's get into the news for this week. Again, we're going to be talking about these Forbes articles by Paul Tassi. He's your basic run-of-the-mill cynic of ESO.
Hey,
just based on the information. Yeah, based on the information, though, it seems like he hasn't even played this game. He's strictly predicting that ESO will probably fail just on the business model alone, and that seems to be it. Yeah. And like in other past games that have also quote-unquote failed.
Sure, I mean, it makes sense he would take that perspective, obviously. I mean, what site are we reading these articles on, if not Forbes? So
Yeah.
it's going to be interesting. If anything, these articles offer a fun and unique perspective of what if we look at ESO strictly from a business point of view, you know, put the business goggles on. So what did he have to say exactly?
Well, a lot of his article was kind of based on this rumor that ESO cost $200 million to make. And I just want to say that this has already been debunked by Paul Firor in a kind of a satirical...
Paul Firor?
Yeah. What did I say?
Matt
Firor.
There you go.
My bad.
You mixed... oh man, it's an amazing if Matt Firor and Paul Sage had a baby.
It would be...
There you go.
No,
you get Paul
gross.
Firor.
That'd be terrible. But anyway,
somebody needs to make that picture, please.
No,
somebody
don't.
Photoshop that shit.
But yeah, so he just had a little explanation about that, and he was saying, like, well, first of all, if we had spent $200 million on this game, they'd be fired for incompetence. They did not put that much money into this game. If they had the current game the way it is, you'd be disappointed because, like, $200 million is a lot of money. And it just probably wouldn't show in the game. That's not to say that the game itself is going to be disappointing. That's saying that if it had a $200 million budget, it would be disappointing.
That's like a
I think,
movie budget.
Yeah, but I think a lot of these people were just like reading the latter part of that, just saying that the game was going to be disappointing. But in the context of it costing $200 million, it would be disappointing.
I think that would be hilarious if the game director came out and said, this game's going to be disappointing.
Yes.
That's a genius move.
Yeah.
You'll definitely have more work in this industry.
Yep. So that's kind of like where a lot of his motivations were coming from when writing this article, I guess. That and just based on previous MMOs and how they've gone from a sub fee down to a hybrid or just straight free to play. Something else he stated was like whoever wanted an Elder Scrolls MMO to begin with. I think Josh had something on that.
Yes. So this was my question, and the reason this kind of jumped off the page at me is because when the Elder Scrolls Online was first announced, you know, we got that trailer, and I had actually made a video about it and how my point of view was, why do we need it, right? A lot of people who aren't interested in the Elder Scrolls Online will say, we don't need that. We like the single player the way it is. The Elder Scrolls has always been single player. It's pulled it off very, very well. Why change the recipe? And I guess the best way for me to kind of explain at least my reasoning for flipping on that whole idea is, Kyle, let me ask you a question. Do you like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches?
Sure.
You're a fan, you'd say?
I'm American.
Yeah. I mean, it's a very American food to eat, a PB&J, you know? I had them at lunch a lot of the time in school, and you enjoyed them, I enjoyed them. I think a lot of fellow Americans enjoyed them, and I hope the rest of the world also appreciates peanut butter and jelly. Now, what if I told you I had this idea for a ham sandwich, and you had never tasted ham, never even heard of it? Would you try the ham sandwich, or would you say, no, I've always known peanut butter and jelly, that's all I ever want to eat the rest of my life? Just the PB&J.
That's kind of a philosophical question there.
Am I getting deep here? I got my beard, I'm stroking.
And it comes down to the person and whether they like trying new things.
Yes, so there you go. At the end of the day, do you want to try a new experience? I know there's a lot of people out there who have played the Elder Scrolls games, love them for what they are, hope they'll never change, and guess what? That wish has already been fulfilled. Bethesda is still working on their single-player titles, whether that be Fallout, fingers crossed, or Elder Scrolls, who knows, but yes, those games are always going to be there. That doesn't change. What are we doing? We're getting something in addition to that. So it's not like, Kyle, I'm gonna take the peanut butter and jelly and eat it and give you the ham sandwich and you just gotta live with it.
What?
No. You get to keep your peanut butter and jelly, and in addition, for $60.15 a month, wink wink, I will let you use this ham sandwich, test it out, see if you like it. So
It's a lot for a ham sandwich.
basically, at the end of the day, it's almost as if we're not even talking about ham sandwiches, almost like we're talking about games.
Oh, we weren't?
But at the end of the day, it's all about options, and as gamers, we always like to have choices. As people, we always like to have our options open to us, and that's all the Elder Scrolls Online is another choice.
All right, and something else you brought up was the fact that Bethesda, if we're honest, they're not known for producing like a completely bug-free single-player game. And so, like, how can we expect them to put out a game that will even work at launch?
Yeah. And I mean, I'm sure you could answer that right off the bat.
It's like, well, first off, Bethesda's not even making this game. It's ZeniMax Online. So it's a completely different studio, even though they are kind of like sister companies and they do talk to one another all the time. But yeah, it's a completely different studio, so you don't have to worry about Bethesda in this equation at all.
Yeah, it's not. It's a non-factor at that point, and I think the writer of this article is just a little misinformed on that part, or just wasn't thinking when he actually typed those words. And then the other reason is, he mentioned having a buggy game at launch, and how Elder Scrolls gamers might be really put off if, their MMO is really buggy at launch, because MMOs, as we know, are pretty notorious for having really, really rough launches. And the nice thing about that, and what I'll inform the article writer and everybody here about, is the fact that the developers working on the Elder Scrolls Online are the developers that had worked on the Dark Age of Camelot MMO. Now, I've never played the Dark Age of Camelot MMO myself. I heard it has stellar PvP though, and the Elder Scrolls Online is supposed to be kind of like its legacy or whatever. But the folks at Dark Age of Camelot actually released that game with the smoothest MMO launch to date. So we have the guys working on the Elder Scrolls Online who have had experience with giving very, very smooth launches. Now, does that guarantee us a smooth launch for the Elder Scrolls Online? Absolutely not. Anything could happen. It's technology. It's unpredictable at the best of times. But yes, at least we can all take heart in the fact that we have veterans of the MMO industry who have had past experience with MMO launches successfully.
All right. And so that was kind of just that article. It was very much on the side that ESO is going to fail. It's basically written in stone.
Yeah.
The other one that he wrote, I guess it was, last week he wrote it. I think it was like the 9th or something like that he had put it out. It was more of a on-the-fence view, as that it can kind of go either way, but still just based on past experiences with MMOs that thought they could do the subscription fee thing, ended up switching to a free-to-play model or a hybrid, which by that we mean there's the free-to-play, but then you can also choose the optional sub fee, and you get additional bonuses with that.
Lord of the Rings Online, if you've ever played.
Yeah, and SWTOR. But that was the other thing, though. He kept, in the previous article, he kept comparing it to SWTOR and saying that SWTOR is like a warning sign of something, like you shouldn't be doing sub fees anymore because that's going to keep happening. The thing you got to keep in mind, and this is brought up in the second article through this chart that was put on, I think, MMORPG.com, of all these current games that do have sub models and how much money, it's like a guesstimate of how much money they're making a year, or no, it's actually per month. So Tor still has like 500,000 subscribers still, and then millions of free-to-play people.
Yeah,
so
because they have the option, right?
Yeah, they're still bringing in millions of dollars a month of revenue, and that's before cost and stuff, of course. So
I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, SWTOR never really failed in the sense that, like the game's not even there anymore. Yeah, sure, they maybe lost like 500,000 subs or something like that within the first few months or whatever, but they're still making millions of dollars every month just in sub fees alone. Absolutely. We're not even talking about microtransactions. So to say that the game itself failed completely, it didn't. And I know we like to poke fun at SWTOR because they did have like a huge loss in subs and everything, but it didn't completely fail or anything. The game's still there. A lot of people are playing it. A lot of people are paying to play it.
Yeah. I don't think Star Wars The Old Republic definitely doesn't qualify as a fail on the business side of things. I think if anything, it's a failure probably in the minds of gamers more than anything, because yes, it gets along just fine, and it's an MMO that makes money. Obviously it makes money, or they just shut the whole thing down.
Right.
Obviously it's bringing in some sort of revenue for BioWare and EA, but at the end of the day, that game, we just wanted it to be so much more as gamers.
Yeah.
And so in the minds of gamers, that game failed because of that reason, not so much the business aspect of it, but for that reason alone. Now, it's very important to keep in mind the definition of failing, because leading up to ESO and then after ESO, there's going to be people that are going to say the Elder Scrolls Online, no matter what happens in the end, it's going to fail. And what's their definition of failing? Well, for a lot of people out there who play MMOs and like to comment on YouTube and stuff, they'll say things like, oh, well, if it isn't the next World of Warcraft, it's a failure of a game. And that's just not true. I mean, you wouldn't say if a shooter released tomorrow, did excellent sales numbers, did good for the game development studio, it was a failure of a game because it didn't sell as well as, say, Call of Duty or Battlefield. You know, it's just not, it doesn't make any sense. And for some reason, the MMO market especially has been defined by World of Warcraft, and I guess for a good enough reason, because it is the god of PC gaming. I mean, no game has made as much money as the World of Warcraft franchise over all the years with all their subscription fees. I mean, 12 million players at its peak, I think, paying $15 a month. That's just unheard of. It's crazy. So yeah, just moving forward, remember that this game doesn't need to be the next WoW. As a matter of fact, I don't want it to be the next World of Warcraft.
Yeah, don't be World of Warcraft.
Please.
In any way, please. But, so, yeah, kind of going back to the whole SWTOR thing, he was talking about how, like, if a game is to survive on a subscription model, it has to have the most devoted fan base ever. And he's saying, like, if SWTOR with the Star Wars franchise and how they have some of the most devoted fans ever couldn't succeed, how is ESO going to with a sub model? So that's something else he was bringing up.
Yeah.
And where I can see that, it doesn't come down to that. It really comes down to how the game plays, what content is there, and if it keeps the interest of the player overall.
Exactly.
Where SWTOR failed of that. It had awesome leveling and everything, but once you got to max level, it's either make a new character or grind through the same PvP map over and over again, stupid hutball, or doing like the same 2 or 3 instances they had at the time. And people just didn't want to do that, and that's why they lost a lot of subscribers there.
Yeah. It seems the biggest hang up for this writer here on Forbes is the fact that this game has a subscription fee, and he just thinks it's a prehistoric model. And I have to say, at the end of the day, if I had to choose a side, I absolutely agree with him. If I could wave my magic wand and make it so the Elder Scrolls Online doesn't release with a sub fee and does a sort of hybrid model like Guild Wars did, or Star Wars The Old Republic did later on, I would absolutely do that. Because, and I had said videos ago, remember when the subscription model was first announced? We released the video, talked about how we felt, at least our speculation was, that it wasn't going to drive a lot of people away. Like, a subscription model, if you were looking forward to the Elder Scrolls Online, you'll probably still be looking forward to the Elder Scrolls Online, even without the subscription model. Can I just say personally that I was absolutely wrong on that call? Absolutely. I predicted, I just threw a number out there. I think I said like, 10%, maybe 10% of people who were interested in the Elder Scrolls Online wouldn't be because of the subscription model. I was totally off, and I'd like to be the first person to say that I couldn't have been more wrong. I think probably, if I had to guess now, a good 40-50% of people who were interested in the Elder Scrolls Online are now not interested in it because of the subscription model. I can even see this in my own life. I have 4 real-life friends who are looking forward to playing the Elder Scrolls Online. They were all psyched about it up to the point where a subscription model was announced. The moment the subscription model was announced, I lost 2 of those friends. Well, not in real life. Like, they didn't say they didn't want to be friends with me anymore. They just said, I don't want to play the Elder Scrolls Online anymore. I won't pay a subscription fee. I've never paid a subscription fee for a game in my life, and I'm not going to start now. That was a lot of people. And I really think ZeniMax Online, or at least not the developers themselves, because it's not even their call, but the suits over at ZeniMax Media Inc. really needs to take a good hard look and reevaluate this whole subscription model. I do think, personally, you guys can share your opinions in the comment section below. I'm sure Kyle will chip in here in a second, but I really think that the subscription model is getting outdated for any game who isn't already on board with it and doesn't already have a loyal following like a World of Warcraft or an EVE Online. I just really hope they'll take a second look at that, and that's all I can say about that.
I completely 100% disagree.
Okay.
Not 100% at all, but like I definitely understand. I can see the interest of the whole microtransaction thing, doing the free play model. But then I look at the subscription fees more of like an entry fee almost. It weeds out those that don't really care about the game so much, and it brings in the people that are like more fans of the Elder Scrolls series just because they're having to put forward money every month just to play it. And it seems like you'll get the more devoted players in the game then.
Okay, I see what you're saying. You're coming from a perspective where you're like, oh, this is my game, I'm loyal to it. I want only people that are loyal to the Elder Scrolls Online to be playing it.
It's like members only.
Yeah, that's a different perspective. For me, I want this game to win people over. I want this to be the MMO that wins people, Elder Scrolls fans, over to the idea of MMOs.
I really don't know.
Well then, I'm trying to figure out here what would be best for players like you and players like me. Would the model that you mentioned, where like a Elder Scrolls, like a Lord of the Rings Online, where if you want the whole game open to you 100%, where you can do anything, not have to worry, you pay that $15 a month. Otherwise, you're gonna have pay gates.
Ugh, but pay gates are so terrible.
Wait, you can pay the $15 a month. So even if you think pay gates are terrible, you won't even see them paying $15. At least that's how it works in Lord of the Rings Online.
But then again, I'm still gonna have to deal with those people, though.
Oh man,
still have to deal with those people.
Do those people really like?
I don't like them. No.
Do they chase after you in the game, Kyle?
To rot. They need to rot.
They all swarm around you and pester you.
Rot in the barrens and have their carcasses picked apart by vultures or something.
All right. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen.
So we have a cynic view from a business perspective that ESO is going to fail. I can totally see where he's getting some of this information from, even though a lot of it is not correct.
Incorrect or misunderstood. Yeah,
yes.
Misinformed.
And I can definitely tell it's from a person who has not really played the game. If they have, it was like an old beta test from an old build that you couldn't even recognize it as it is today. So, but officially, I would like to recant my statement that I thought ESO would go free to play within a year. I want to say they're going to stick to their guns, and they're going to keep it a sub fee. Okay. Especially if they're going to be putting out content like they say they're going to be doing every 4 to 6 weeks. They will have a DLC style patch.
4 to 6 months.
No.
I was going to be like.
So if they are going to stick to their guns with having content, DLC level content put out every 4 to 6 weeks, then it is totally worth that $15 a month, and they will totally stick to that because other people will see that as well. Yeah. It being worth that amount.
Still am not sure if they're going to deliver on that promise, though.
Well, there's no way to know.
And yeah, exactly. There's no way to know. I mean, at the end of the day, everyone's going to have to make that decision. Every month, am I getting enough new content, or am I having enough fun in this game, where it's worth $15? Which, by the way, we're throwing this $15 number out there. Is this something that they have confirmed, or we just don't know yet?
No, we know.
We know for a fact they're
$15 a month.
Looking for at 15. Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
Yes.
So yeah, just let us know what your opinions on that. I'm sure you've probably already shared them in the comments below. But
all right, so let's talk about beta. They had their biggest beta, and they always say this like every beta. It's the biggest beta we've ever had. Yeah.
Just to piss the people off that didn't get in, you know.
So, yes, this was a massive beta test, and again, we know this because of the massive amounts of people that were breaking NDA just telling us that they were in it.
Yeah, please. I mean, we appreciate your guys' excitement, But that's the whole thing. You're not supposed to say you're in beta.
Yeah.
It's Fight Club,
Even
man.
if you know...
First rule.
Yeah, even if you know we're in beta, you're still not supposed to talk about beta outside of beta or the beta forums.
Yeah. First rule of beta.
Do not talk about beta. So yeah, but this brings to question, when the heck is their open beta going to be? When do we think it's going to be? And when do they think they're going to lift that embargo?
Yeah, okay, that is an excellent question. Very, very good question. I guess I would use just a real-life example, which would be Guild Wars 2. Guild Wars 2, I think, had an open beta, was it 3 months? 3 months out? I think I looked it up, and it was like 3 months before the game released.
It was around that, yeah.
Yeah. I say that we get an open beta any week now. If I had to predict, I guess I would say that. But that's speculation in its purest form.
I think it would really have to do with the results of this past beta and what their numbers are saying.
Yeah.
How finished the game really is. Because at this point, what are they working on? Bug fixes, some balancing, some tweaks on some mechanics, and a whole bunch of polishing, just making the game look better. And personally, I've seen this stuff happen. Just saying. But so yeah, the features and the mechanics, they're all there in the game already. So the game as a whole is pretty much done. Besides, like, I guess adventure zones, or maybe they're done too. They just haven't released those, and maybe that's the final thing that they're waiting on to get done before they do make it an open beta, or before they do lift the embargo on the information. I would have to say, though, it's got to be before, like, mid-February.
Yeah, you gotta figure they need enough time, because what is the purpose of open beta? At that point, it's not to get feedback from the individuals. That was a closed beta, was to get feedback from individuals. An open beta is to stress the servers to their maximum, you know? And in order to do that, they need to have enough time to... I'm no developer. This is just me talking out of my ass like I normally do. But you got to figure they need the statistics in time to make the changes to their servers and all that, or whatever techno junk they need to do. Yeah, whatever, before the beta releases. So, yeah, I don't know.
But that's just what I'm throwing out there. A very rough estimate. Sometime before mid-February, I would assume they would at least lift the embargo. Maybe not an open beta, but hopefully lift the embargo.
So we can freaking talk about this shit.
Yes, because there's just so much good information for people to let go. Because right now, the only people that are talking about ESO are those that are breaking NDA, and is usually to bash the game.
Yeah, you don't break NDA to say something good about the games, right? No one would do that.
Because that would be disrespectful for a game that you're enjoying.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly right. And it's a very good point.
So yeah, once they lift that embargo, you'll see a flood of just good information about this game and just how well polished it is already, still in beta. I know that's going to happen. And so I'm waiting for the day where we can actually talk about it more openly.
We can actually talk about it and freaking have it as our background game play footage.
Yeah, right.
Instead of all this Oblivion and Skyrim crap you're seeing right now. Let's get the actual freaking game.
Yes, but let us know what you guys think. When do you think they'll be doing an open beta and finally lift that embargo? But yes, that was it for the news and bit of speculation for this week. So let us go into the question, or developer question of the week. This one is from some guy named Scott Nixon, lead content designer.
Hi, I'm Scott Nixon, lead content designer for The Elder Scrolls Online, and here's your question of the week. In The Elder Scrolls Online, you're able to customize your character, from the abilities you choose to the way they look. We know lots of you also like making up personal backstories for your character. So what's your first character's backstory going to be?
Ooh, an RP question of the week. All those role players must be eating this up. Alright, backstory for characters. Kyle, you're just looking at me and smiling because you're sitting here with this Word document up. You have your full backstory written out here, which is funny because I'm supposed to be the more RP type of the two of us, and I don't even have anything yet. So you know what? Just take it away, Kyle. What's your backstory here?
Alright, so this is actually a character I had just made today in my head.
Okay, in your head? Using your imagination.
Yes, it did take up a previous character that I've made in a Skyrim game, though. But that was a Bossmer. This one is an Altmer. So they are different. But
Still
the name
elves.
still makes sense. Okay. Name is Philandra. I'm just going to say that. And that is a Bossmer name, but she's Altmer. So how does that happen? How could you have a Bossmer name if she's Altmer? Well, here we go. Okay, so... My character's adoptive father was a Bossmer named Liddell. Or Lydell, if you were. Who was tasked with destroying a Horvor, or a Harbor, I don't know how you pronounce that, infestation just outside Eldenroot. And these Horvors, or whatever, are these bugs. They're in ESO. They've even talked about them. They have, like, a picture of them on the map thing. They're just bugs. They like to drink blood, apparently.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Little vampire bugs.
So as he was patrolling the borders, he stumbled upon a half-dozen of them that were distracted by whatever they were feeding on. With several well-aimed shots, the Horvor were dead and needed to be quickly removed, lest their smell bring about more.
Ooh.
As the Bossmer came to remove the bodies, he found that what they were feeding on were 2 dead Altmer and a very young Altmer child.
Oh, that was her parents.
As he checked the Altmer bodies for clues of who they were, he realized the baby was still alive.
Thank God. Oh, what a relief.
Lydell took the young high elf and gave her a name, Philandra. Over the years, the Bossmer huntsman trained Philandra to be deadly precise with a bow and move through the trees with the speed and agility of any wood elf. As she grew, it was apparent that she was naturally gifted in the arcane arts, and Lydell encouraged her to use those gifts in the betterment of her adoptive people.
Aww.
Philandra was happy with her life among the tall, lush trees of Valenwood, but something was wrong. She grew more and more distracted by a voice calling within her. She didn't understand what it was, so she confided in Lydell, who reluctantly told her it was her Altmer blood calling her home. Lydell then brought her an old piece of parchment stained with dry blood. He told her it was among her remains, or it was among the remains of her parents. The only words visible on the parchment were Thalmor Justicar and Aelinor.
Oh, no.
The capital of Somerset Isle, by the way. Afraid this day would come, Lydell forlornly told Philandra that she must go and find out who her parents were and why they were sent into the woods that day. Philandra said her goodbyes, picked up her elven bow and quiver, and set out for Somerset Isle. Atop the deck of a ship, she gazed out among the waves of the open sea, wondering if the buildings of Aelinor are really as beautiful as some travelers in Eldenroot had described. As she continues to ponder, there's an increasingly bright light that only she seems to be able to see. Within a short breath and a searing bit of pain, Philandra awakes within a strange cell of rock and metal, and an eerie voice that beckons to her. ...
It's Molag Bal, that's who it is.
No, it's not. It's actually the prophet.
Oh.
That's the opening of when you actually start ESO.
Okay,
So
so
there
it
you
led
go.
right up into you being a prisoner
Yes.
at the start of
If
the
you
game.
noticed, everything was in past tense except for the last paragraph was in present tense because it was just happening.
It's happening right
Oh
now.
my god! So yes, that's a Philandra. She is a Altmer that was raised by a Bossmer.
That was beautiful.
So she's good with a bow, but also she is good in the arcane arts because she's an Altmer.
That is awesome.
There you
You know
go.
what? My character is going to be the guy who your parents did something wrong to him and he's hunting you or something like that.
So the whole game is going to be spent with you hunting me down?
Yes, but then I find out we're actually siblings.
What?
What? Oh my god.
Mind blown.
Yes.
Mind blown.
We're starting a mini series on this. It's gonna be awesome.
So yeah, that's at least the first character I'm gonna do, which is funny because it's not even a Templar, it's a sorcerer who uses bow mainly. So that's that character.
Very cool.
And that's probably the one I'm gonna be streaming, Philandra.
Right.
So just announcing now, I am gonna be streaming ESO when it does release, Philandra, probably a lot. So Kyle _ShoddyCast, that's my channel name on Twitch. So yeah, subscribe to it.
Just a shameless little plug there.
Yep. Alright, so let's go into our community segment. Starting off with the questions from the SHODDIENCE. Finally, we didn't have any last week. So let's do a few here. First one is from Christian.
Hey ShoddyCast, I'm a little concerned about, abilities, because as far as I know when I played MMOs, most abilities were based off of magic type things, and in most test games I never really was one for magicka stuff. I always liked, upfront combat or archery. I'm a little, I'm not really sure about the basic melee or just straight up combat abilities. I really hope that there is some. I don't know. What do you guys think about it? Thanks for answering.
Alright, sir, this guy really sounds like a red guard or something. Doesn't like magic, is all into the martial arts and everything. Quick answer, you don't have to use any of those spells or anything. And then there's also classes that have lines dedicated to more melee style magic. So even though it's magic, it's still like melee stuff. Like Adric's Spear is a good example of that. You're using like a magic spear that does damage. But then you don't even have to use any of those. You can just use the weapon skills themselves. And I guess if you want to swap back and forth between like a bow or a sword or a staff, have at it. I mean, you don't have to do magic if you don't want to. And next one here is from Lumberjack John.
Greetings to those that would call themselves ShoddyCast. I am Lumberjack John. My question for you is, do you think there will be any way to customize a coat of arms or guild emblem on your character in ESO? Keep up the splendid work. You're doing us all proud.
You know, he reminds me of the tree ints in Lord of the Rings.
Oh, yeah.
Like, if he just talked a little slower.
Treebeard? Yeah, Treebeard, that's his name.
What's a hobbit?
Sounds like orc mischief to me. I think that's how the line goes. Don't quote me on that.
Oh, boy. Anyways, back on topic. Guild emblems, coat of arms, something like that. This is something I believe we discussed actually in person before with
Nick Conkle?
Thank you.
The Conk.
Yes. Jeez, name just escaped me. Anyways, we were talking about the whole, like, again, the DLC style patching that they're going to be doing, and they're going to kind of be like in groups of similar content. So like there would be a PvP style DLC patch or whatever, so it would be just nothing but a bunch of PvP stuff. Another one he mentioned was like the Dark Brotherhood, the crime system, Thieves Guild, all that would be in one as well. But the other one he mentioned was the guild system and how they're going to be putting out a bunch more stuff all having to do with the guild system. And one of those may very well be creating custom guild emblems or choosing from that, choosing colors. We could even be seeing like tabards or capes or something like that. Of course, none of this is confirmed. It is just speculation at this point, but it is definitely something that can be considered and is being considered for guilds especially. And that was it for the questions from the audience. Josh, before we go into donations, can you tell us about the behind-the-scenes video we got planned?
If you guys have tuned in last week, you know that we're doing something a little bit different with the donations nowadays. You can actually contribute donations directly to which show you'd like to support in our lore series lineup of shows, you know, Fallout or the Elder Scrolls currently. And under that, we had talked about the fact that once we reach our goal, we would like to throw out a little incentive for you guys by releasing some bonus lore episodes. Well, the first of those bonus episodes, actually, that I think either has already been unlocked or we're very, very close to unlocking is a behind-the-scenes video with the lore series. So showing you guys exactly what goes into each and every lore episode and just the process from start concept all the way to the finished product when we publish it on YouTube. It's gonna be a fun video, and hopefully some of you guys will at least find it interesting. But yes, that'll be released here probably within the next week.
All right.
So keep your eye out for that.
And since we're on the topic of donations, let's go into the sponsors of the week. First one here is from Matthew Lawrence. Thank you, sir. New donor here, Zaga Johansson. Thank you, thank you. Another new donor, actually several of them here. Victoria Gates and Kel something Speed. Thank you. Daniel Blakeman returns. Thank you. And oh boy, I gotta pronounce this name. Ingve Vedegvik.
Yingvi, the Greybeards have called you to High Hrothgar. You are no longer a mortal, meant to wallow around in this boring mortal-like life. No! You are Dragonborn!
Awesome. But anyways, he says, "Hi ShoddyCast, just want to say thank you for your videos, even though they haven't saved my life in any way. I'm still grateful for them because they give me the news I'm too lazy to find out for myself. You guys helped me realize how cool ESO actually is. About a year ago, I was only told that ESO was shit just like WoW, and being the stupid butt that I am, I believed them. That was until I came across your videos. I think it was called 25 Reasons, or whatever. I think it was 21 Reasons. After I watched it, I knew that was the game for me and that I had to subscribe to you guys. I think you had about 18k subs back then. You haven't just helped me with ESO, because being the isolated butt that I am, I didn't really know of many games.
This person's beating himself up.
And he showed me Planetside 2 and Dawn of Fantasy, so thank you for that. And to show you how grateful I am, I will try to donate each week. But since I'm Norwegian, I'm a born Nord, and my butt belongs to the Ebonheart Pact. New donor here, Daryl Anderson. He says, "From Daryl K. Anderson, please keep up the great work. I am in ShoddyCast," that would be the guild with an E, "and looking forward to the good times."
Oh yes, anyone interested in joining the ShoddyCast guild, we already have our forums up over at our website, so go check that out.
Yep. Perry Roberts here had 2 different donations, one from last week that didn't quite make it to the show. He says, "Happy New Year's, Josh and Kyle. I cannot wait for the new stuff to come out. Now that we have a motto for King..." Oh wait, he thought it was for King and Coin back then.
Oh yeah.
But now this next one here was after that show. So he says, "My donation always is a week late, so I will try to have 2 donation messages this week. And because you changed it for King and Covenant, not for King and Coin. And go extra Fallout episode," because he donated for the Fallout one.
Oh yes.
No one else seemed to.
Sadly, Fallout just got its butt kicked by Elder Scrolls, but that's okay, because you know we've had Elder Scrolls content on this channel a lot longer than Fallout. Fallout's new. It's a new little upstart show. It'll catch up.
Yep. Here comes a few more new donors here. Onofrio Fanelli. Hopefully that's somewhat close. Says, "Hi Josh and Kyle. My name is Killdrake. I've been meaning to donate these septums for quite some time now. You definitely deserve them. Keep up the good work. Talos guide you. Killdrake of the Blood Moon Brotherhood."
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Philip Knowlton. "Travelers, explore the world of Tamriel, for the riches lie within. Let the wind sing you a song, the sun be your warmth, and the moon guide you at night. We are the loyals the loyals to Tamriel. Go to loyals2tamriel.engine.com, and it's on PS4. Bill McGruber says,
McGruber!
"Greetings, ShoddyCast. I am an orc, cold lag stonefist. I have come this day to bring news. I have created a mercenary guild that I have named Mercenary per Ilray. Maybe. It has a role-playing... Oh, Jesus, I can't read at all. It is a role-playing guild that I have just made, so it does not have any members, and for reasons I cannot make a website, so I made a Steam group by the same name, Death to the Racist Queen, and all that support, or all that I suppose. Just hope you don't have a price on your head. Signed, Colec Stonefist, the Merc with a smirk."
I just like it whenever you struggle through any sort of words you have to read, because you do the Macaulay Culkin like, "Oh no, hands on the side of the face, ah."
Bjark J. Holsengard returns, and he says, "This one is pleased with the returning of the cast of Shoddies. May my swift claws always be at your disposal. Therefore, this one presents Ja for Mighty, Drolkyle, and Rejosh."
Thank you.
I think he's like a Jeet. I'm not
Joshua is pleased with your donation.
Jeez.
Yes.
Nick Niner, new donor here, says, "You guys do great work. I hope our blades never clash on the battlefield. And if they do, I shall give you both swift and honorable deaths. For King and Covenant." Bo Beckett, new donor here, says, "I'm going to buy a PC just for this game, and I've never played an MMORPG before. What advice can you give me? If it's too long of an answer to this question, then feel free to tell me to pound off."
Okay. Join a guild. That's my advice. Join a guild. There's excellent PC communities out there. That's a great thing. You get to join a group of like-minded gamers and play games with them. There's nothing better in this world. I'm convinced of it.
Yes, and if your advice was on like where to go for a PC, we always say cyberpowerpc.com. If you don't really know what you're doing when it comes to building a PC, but you still want a custom PC, that's where to go. All right, Mark McClellan, new donor here. He says, Kin of the Stronghold is a Daggerfall Covenant guild. Kin of the Stronghold means we are an Osmers. We are an Osmers at heart. Not sure what that means. Oh, Osmers, orcs, duh.
There you go.
We follow the code of Malakath, or Trenanak if you believe in Gotworth's belief. We are honor-bound and fight for a place in this world. If you are not a true Osmer, then this guild is not for you. You can find and join us at kinofthestronghold.guildlaunch.com for the Stronghold. Also, I would like a shout-out to my girlfriend, Erin. I love you. Keep up the good work, ShoddyCast.
Look at this guy. He's got a girlfriend.
What? Gamers don't have girlfriends. Oh. Thomas Koch.
Thomas, you have been called to High Hrothgar. You are no longer a mere mortal being. No, you, sir, are... Wait for it. Wait for it. Dragonborn.
Lovely.
I've been watching some How I Met Your Mother lately. my apologies. Channeling my inner Barney.
You should have said dragon. Wait for it. Born.
There you go. There you go.
Great job on both series. Keep up the good work, guys. Oh, by the way, my last name is pronounced like Coke. Oh, my bad. Thomas Coke.
Oh, there you go.
Thanks. And
for the Queen.
All right. Martin Hirschner returns yet again.
Hirschner. That is my favorite to say. Hirschner. Dragonborn. Sorry, I was just too distracted with your last name.
TermielTradingCompany.com, a DC guild focusing on RP and trade. Join their alliance of guilds to gain protection from the would-be bandits and crawl the hills of Cyrodiil as you seek to proclaim the riches found within. Visit their site for information on the guild's lore, what gods they worship, as well as up-to-date news on the guild. Visit and sign up today at TermielTradingCompany.com. New donor, Scott Nybeck, says, hello Josh, Kyle, and fellow SHODDIENCE. Ademus Prime, here representing the Guild Vindicus again. Since our last shout out with you guys, our guild activity and numbers have blown up and made us the largest, most active PS4 Ebonheart guild in existence. If anyone wants to join our community of absolute dominance, or you just wish to window shop, here is our website, vindicus-ep.engine.com. Thanks guys, and keep up the good work. P.S. The Queen Facebooked me and told me about Josh's baloney nipples.
What? What? Okay, just... What? The idea, first of all, that the Queen even would see my nipples is an honor, so... That's fine. That's fine.
Alright, moving on. New donor here, Sebastian Rottenberg, said, oh dear God. All that dragon stuff, I'm not going to say.
You always start in your Paternak voice. You always start sounding like a dragon, and then you end up just sounding like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Get to the chopper! In English, hello, I just want to say thank you guys for working so hard on the lower series. And, of course, the weekly show. Keep up the good work, and always, death to the Queen.
Did I say Arnold? I meant that other guy. The other big buff one that was in movies.
I don't know who you're talking about.
Sylvester Stallone, there you go.
Yo, Adrian! Why would... Hey, just wanted to tell you I got an ESO redacted key, and it plays like awesome.
Oh no!
I redacted that, by the way, just because I didn't want him to break NDA. You're
Okay,
welcome. Christian Van Otterloo, new donor here, says, hey guys, I'm following every episode of ESO Weekly, and I would like to contribute a bit to support the great work you're doing. And of course,
for the Queen!
No, that's the next one.
Oh, damn it. I got them mixed up.
Henry Perry says, dear SHODDIENCE, please make shorter promotional messages. Yes, please. And...
Now I'll switch it and I'll do the last one. For the Queen! you're not. So just switch those for the queens or not.
Man.
Either way.
I actually sweat after doing these promotionals. That's how much you guys make me work.
Seriously, it is a lot of work. I could tell.
If you would like to be a sponsor for the ShoddyCast, head over to the website ShoddyCast.com. On the right hand side of the screen, you'll see a donation button. If you donate $10 or more, you can leave a promotional message for us to push it through as you did today.
I have to say, the donation section of these episodes are sometimes some of the funnest.
Yeah,
because
for us.
They're usually, you're totally on script because you have to be reading what they're saying, and then I'm like, just kind of on for the ride. Yes, any and all septums donated to the ShoddyCast go directly back into helping the ShoddyCast improve existing shows, as well as introducing new shows. Whoa, what was that sound? Yes, that's what I'm thinking. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to give a special shout out for all of our donors. Again, thank you, each and every one of you, for donating to the channel. You're the reason we're able to do what we do. And thank you guys for even tuning in and taking your time to listen to our bullshit, basically. Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to like this video, share it with everyone you know. Tune in on, I almost said tomorrow. On Friday, I almost said it again. Tune in on Friday for the next installments of the Elder Scrolls Lore series. Learn about the time of the Tribunal, rulers of Morrowind. I have been Josh.
And I'm Kyle.
We'll catch you later.
Boy.